everyone. For this digital adventure, I chose the Johns Hopkins University COVID-19 dashboard. Some of you may know that I've been working for COVID operations here at Ohio University, and this was a tool that I was exposed to as a result of my onboarding and training to become a new employee, along with many other resources. But this tool I was excited to revisit for this digital adventure to experiment with the data and the reporting tools on here to think about it from an educator's perspective. So I'm going to share kind of how it's just personally interesting because this is an issue that's relevant to all of our lives right now, living through the pandemic, and considering how the information presented through Johns Hopkins could be used for different types of learning exercises. So I'm going to do an overview of the different features of this dashboard and try to go into detail on all the different things here, which I think on its own will elicit some ways that it's clear that it could be useful in teaching settings, but then I'll also point out some specific resources that I think are relevant for learners. So whether you're teaching college students or K through 12 kind of classes, that there would be material here that is very relevant. So you can just see initially from this homepage for the COVID dashboard at Johns Hopkins, there's a world map in the middle. The red, you can kind of intuitively see that the red on both the right and at the top menu here, and then over on the left, that's referring to cases. They keep the way the data is organized is, I think, easy to understand. On this page, you can see over here the highest number of cases in the last 28 days. So the United States is at the top there. And then you can scroll and see what cases are like kind of around the world. So this is by 28 day. You can see along the bottom tab here, you can kind of explore data in all different perspectives. So the last 28 days globally, that this is the number of cases. You can zoom in on any of the maps. So I'm going to just click to zoom in a little bit. So you could explore a specific area and select a dot, one of the points on any country that you choose, and see the 28-day case count. So this could be really interesting in all different kind of subject matter areas to relate to COVID with different areas. So if it's exploring the map, exploring different groups of people and how the pandemic is impacting people differently, this could be a great resource for broader conversations like that. So you can zoom in and out, which I think is really neat. You can drag it around and see that there are some areas that are bright red, which obviously is not good, but is very informative, and you can really zoom in on data through this website. So that's the 28-day tab. You can also just see total infection rates, case rates for the entire pandemic's tracking duration. You can see incidence. So this is per 100,000 people, how many cases there are. So on the right here, you can see where there are the highest rates of infection, so the largest percentage of the population in these areas being infected. So that's an interesting way to explore the data. You can also see case fatalities, so where the highest percentage of people died as a result of infection with COVID. Again, you can see how the colors kind of coordinate with these different other kind of charts that are on the page. That the red is case, the white is death, and then the green is associated with vaccination. And then next is global vaccination. And then you can do US vaccination. And then there's also this terms of use. And from here, you can actually see a link to the raw data set for all of the different the cases, deaths, and US testing data. This would be an awesome resource for any type of research project, especially if you're wanting to practice like data visualization or any kind of data analysis. This could be great either for your own purposes or in the classes and groups of students that you're working with to explore a large data set. And you can also see some other different links and resources they have here. So that was the material along the bottom here. You can also see on these charts on the right that you can do weekly kind of case, death, vaccination versus 28-day. So you can kind of see trends that may be emerging, and if those are different by week or month, to get a sense of severity of what's happening. So I started with us on the global map view. You can also do US map, which will do a breakdown by counties. You'll notice on this that some states don't fully appear. I'm assuming this is because of some type of reporting agreement, not because there's no COVID in Nebraska, which I'm sure is not true. So on this, you can zoom in really, really far to the county level. So I'm going to just zoom in and click on Athens here. So this is Athens right here, this county. So you can get a sense of the case numbers, kind of sense of severity throughout the state and how it varies by region. So I think that's really interesting. This would be a great tool, I think, to explore with students in class as different projects, and even just looking at the trends like the Southeast compared to the Northeast in terms of case rates. You can also see on the left here the number of cases by county and then the number of deaths by county. That is just really interesting and useful data during a historical event that we're living through. The next piece I think would be a easy to implement tool in a number of educational settings. I'm not going to play this whole video because I'm aware of the screencast probably already going to be running a little longer than my other ones. But this is a very brief, like 2 to 3 minute snapshot that Johns Hopkins produces every day that provides highlights of different data points from the last 24 hours. So I think this would be great to share in a class conversation. So if you're just wanting to bring up COVID and don't want to, kind of find the different points on this website or others to present what's happening in COVID, that they package it and produce it into this really nice, easy to kind of digest material, which also means it could be used easily in an asynchronous setting. So if you wanted to assign this, say, as something to do outside of class to prepare for conversation, this would be a great thing for students to engage in and look at. So I think that's a fantastic resource. And then also there's some additional material here. So some FAQ kind of questions. So this could be great for exploring just more information for more of the questions that students may have about COVID. And then I've mentioned data visualizations a few times, and they have some really great ones already prepared. So this could give you some great examples of effective use of data visualization tools. I think there's some really neat designs here. This one, good, it loaded. I really liked this visualization when I was looking at it. So it's a map of the United States with each state showing its trends. It took me a minute kind of visually to figure this out when I looked at it the first time, but you can see like Maine, this is Maine, and here's Florida and Puerto Rico, and then Texas here at the bottom. So they're all squares, which threw me off at first, but this is the whole country. And to get a sense of what is today's case rate, kind of how is it looking, the trends. So you can see right here that the data is shown through October 19th, which as of this recording is yesterday. So this is very up-to-date data. And you can actually drill down by state too. So I can just select Ohio and get a sense there of what our trends are looking like, which is really great. So a lot of resources here for exploring. I started us on the global map if you're wanting to start there with students. And you can see that there's so much more that you could dig into and explore. So this is just a snapshot. But I hope that you consider exploring this as a resource, even if it's just for your own information about COVID and how it is changing and being managed around the world. This is a really fantastic tool. Thanks so much for watching.